We'll open her up. Questions?
Coach, I know we talked a little bit last week about the bye week, but when you have, days off and things like that, what else do you do other than do you self-scout? Do you take a look at like younger players on the scout team to see how they're evaluating? What were some of the things you had an opportunity to do?
A lot of those things. You do self-scout, right? You get a little bit more time to go back through and look at yourself, your personnel, your situational football, your normal downs, everything. And so you do that. Young guys get a bunch of work. They got a chance to go out and scrimmage against each other. And, some of our old guys got a chance to call it a little bit, and defense, offense. And so that was a lot of fun and really good work for those guys, too. So you do all that. You get some guys that are nicked up, an opportunity to kind of catch their breath, get healthy, and collectively, your football team and your staff a little bit over the weekend, get a chance to catch their breath and get refreshed and get ready to go.
Josh, coming off the bye week, what's the most important thing you want to see from your team going into this week preparation for East Carolina?
Preparation, be consistent and purposeful in how we prepare. And I don't think that our football hasn't done that. Our football team hasn't done that here. We got to find a way to be on the right side of the one play that makes a difference. I think that's important for us. I think that starts with turnovers, creating them on defense and taking care of it offensively. And you look at the two games that we've lost, we've been on the wrong side of it. 6-2 collectively, when you put those two games together, there's a lot of points and a lot of plays that make a difference right there.
Coach, when you look at the benefit of the bye week, do you sort of have to wait till the next game to see how the bye week really benefited you, or can you see sort of that in practice week before the game?
You see some improvement from, in particular, your young guys during the course of the week. And when I say young guys that haven't played a ton of football. But, I think as the season goes on in all three phases of the game, guys make strides. And sometimes when you're in the meat of it, it's hard to see that. I think if you look back and as you do some of your self-scout, you see how they've gotten better in their technique, fundamentals, understanding of what you're doing.
Coach, how can a couple of losses here in the last couple of weeks be beneficial for this program moving forward?
Well, you don't have to lose a game to learn a lot of lessons, right? We don't want to do that. I think for us inside of our program, just understanding the way that you have to prepare, how fine of a line it is between success and non-success, failure in this football game. And it's true every single week. You look at college football scores week in and week out. There is a really fine line of success and failure. And our guys that have worked in a really good way. We've come up short a couple times. I think it's important for our kids to understand that they're going to get their best from our opponent every single week. Understand that we got to bring our best too.
Coach, can you talk about what Anthony Montalvo has done to earn a scholarship, and how fun is it for you when you get to deliver that news?
Fun for me, fun for our football team. That's a guy that since I stepped foot on campus, man, just great teammate, man. Just how he approaches, his interaction with everybody inside of our building, the way he works. I don't care if it's inside the weight room, out on the practice field. He's willing to do anything and everything to help our football team, special teams, and it's just really consistent in who he is. And I think that's why you saw the reaction. If you looked at Twitter in the video that was there, the reaction from our entire football team, offense, defense, special teams. Guys love him and appreciate who he is.
Coach, last week Gabe Davis said in an interview, "Don't blame the coaches." What is your reaction to that, and what does it say about the players that are also supporting not only each other but the coaches?
And we're family, man. Coaches, players, equipment managers, right? It's everybody together, fighting and trying to make a difference, man. You win as a football team, you lose as a football team. Our program's strong because of the character of the guys that we have in it, in all those areas. We'll bounce back and be ready to play.
Coach, besides with Dylan and the turnover issues, besides just stressing it over and over,
it's right. I said this last week too. Quarterbacks are going to get probably a little bit too much of the credit when things are going really well, and probably a little bit too much of the blame. Turnovers. There's things Dylan's got to do better, right? But there's also things the 10 guys around him got to do better too.
Sure, but I'm talking about like the missed handoffs and just some of the mistakes that he's made. Besides just stressing it, what can you do maybe like in terms of drills?
Every rep counts. Every rep matters, right? And not that we don't, but you stress and emphasize the technique and everything that you're doing. And some of those things are him, some of those aren't. But collectively, as a group, getting to where we need to be.
Josh, Gabe Davis already has a career high in touchdowns this season. How have you seen him evolve as a player and as a person since you arrived?
I think it starts, just his evolution starts with him dramatically changing his body, right? Just from when we first stepped on campus in December of whatever year that was, as he's getting ready for a bowl game, just how dramatically he changed his body. He did that because of his purpose and everything that he does, the way he eats, the way he trains, the way he sleeps, how he takes care of himself. He's the model of consistency, and because of that and his work habits and understanding what we do and understanding defenses and understanding and studying the guy that he prepares to play against every week, he's continued to get better and better. And, he's worked himself into being a dominating player.
Do you know if Randy Charlton is expected back this week to play?
Not sure if he'll be ready to play yet, but certainly hope that he will be.
Josh, you've had some struggles offensively in the red zone, especially in the 2 losses. What can you guys do to maybe improve that when you guys
some
get
of that's turnovers, right? Some of that's being a little bit more efficient running the football. We've had some penalties that have backed us up into longer yardage situations. Some efficiency throwing the football. It's not just been one thing, and so all of our guys just being a little bit better, a little bit more dialed in, and executing some of the things that we need to.
Are you happy with, and how do you feel the mindset of the team is right now at this point?
I do like where our football team is mindset-wise. I thought last week they came back, they worked. A couple days that were on the grass, they had great energy and were physical, competitive, all of those things. When you get a bye week, I think it's important that players get away from it a little bit. It's a long, long season dating back to, the first day of training camp, right? And so you get an opportunity to get refreshed and refocused and ready to go. They were great in the building today, in the weight room, and expect us to go out and have a couple great days of practice on the grass.
You kind of talk about players getting away from it. Did coaches get away from it on the
I
weekend?
think coaches got an opportunity, on Saturday and for a portion of Sunday to get away and be with their kids and do some normal things.
Do you watch football on a Saturday when the Saturday's free?
Watched a little bit of it, yeah, absolutely. Watched it, and my daughter likes to watch football, so she hopped on the couch and we watched a little bit, and then she had me putting up some Halloween decorations too later in the day, so a little bit of everything.
You watch Oklahoma, or what do you watch?
I did not watch Oklahoma this week. Caught bits and pieces of kind of all the 3 major slots, just caught a bit and piece of a bunch of different games.
Josh, this game features 2 left-handed quarterbacks. You being a lefty yourself, does that kind of bring a smile to your face to see left-handers kind of get
Not
out
enough
there?
of them out there. Yeah, he's a really good player. I got great respect for his efficiency in the game too, but how competitive a player he is, but not enough lefties out there.
You talked a little bit about that running game in the red zone. What second half of the game against Cincinnati, you guys struggled in running the football. What are some things you guys need to do maybe to kind of improve on that?
A bunch
area?
of our struggles in the second half of Cincinnati, right, we're in first and forever, right, and so some of it takes you out of some of those run game situations, and all of a sudden an efficient run isn't good enough to get you into a third and manageable situation too. So, There's misassignment, there's technique, there's the way we put them in a better position. All those things add up to us being just a little bit better, which we need to be.
Mike Houston's in his first year at ECU after a successful run at James Madison. What are you seeing from the Pirates?
I think they've gotten better each week, in particular on the defense side of the ball as they continue to gain better understanding of what they're doing. I think they're growing in it and playing with better technique, and they play hard, and that's a sign of good, well-coached football team.
Coach, what role do you expect DJ to be playing? What does he have to do to get more reps in the offensive quarterback?
Well, I think he'll have an opportunity to potentially play in this one. I think as he has gotten healthy and gotten more opportunities, and I'm not just talking on the game field, right? He got an opportunity to play against UConn, but even just out on practice, a guy that missed almost the entire training camp. I think just his comfort in what we're doing and playing at a higher level will lend itself to more opportunities.
You said you watched bits and pieces of other games. Did you see any other AAC action? Because can you comment on just the depth of this conference this year, not just with you guys, but with Memphis, Cincinnati, SMU teams are doing
kind of a little
really
bit
well.
of the early kickoff with Temple and Memphis. I've said it this year. I've said it as soon as I came into the league. I thought it before I got into this league. There is great talent throughout this entire league. and it's got great coaches inside of it too. And that's year in and year out. I think you look at the track record of this league in non-conference play against other, other leagues. You can see that trend, and this year's definitely no different. There's a lot of good football.
Coach, you said you were putting up Halloween decorations the other day. Do you have your costume
Well,
picked out?
yeah, I do not have my costume picked out quite yet.
We got some options.
I don't, but I'm sure my daughter will have something picked out for me.
Anything else? That's great.
All right, guys, enjoy the day.